Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
In our first two segments, we're going to talk about creating a combo pot. First things we're going to talk about is Hangley Dangleys, those fantastic trailing plants that hang along the edge of the pot and make it a winner.
Oh, yes. The second part of our combo pot series will focus on center accent plants. If you're so sick of the dracaena spikes as we are, stay tuned.
Just arrived at Bloomers, a completely themed selection of flowering plants for creating a cut flower garden. I love this. We'll tell you what you need to have and what beautiful plants you can grow to have bouquets from your own garden in our third segment.
Azaleas are coming into full bloom right now. There is a reason why you should plant azaleas in your landscape. We'll discuss the benefits of this most beautiful landscape plant in our fourth segment.
In our final segment, we have a text message on the hotline that talked about their poorly performing lavender. We'll get into it in our final segment.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back in the garden right after these messages. Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome's Triple Action contains 70% neem oil and 0.25% pyrethrins as a concentrate and ready to spray. It is an insecticide, fungicide, and miticide labeled to use on vegetables, fruits, nuts, herbs, spices, and ornamentals. This organic OMRI-listed product controls a wide variety of insect pests and diseases, including aphids, scale, spider mites, whiteflies, rust, leaf spot, and powdery mildew. This insecticide is an all-in-one bottle that will cure just about any problem you may run into throughout the year. Fertilome's Triple Action has been helping gardeners across the country for years. Best to apply in late evening and early morning hours. Mix 1 ounce, which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water. The best part is Triple Action may be used up to the day of harvest. So the next time you are visiting your favorite garden center, ask for Fertilome's Triple Action and expect to have the best looking plants in the neighborhood.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or see and hear us by subscribing to Bloomers YouTube channel. Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley every Saturday. First, wake up with us at 6 a.m. on WNWR The Word at 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. Tune in at 8 a.m. to Bloomers in the Garden Radio on Talk 860 WWDB. A rebroadcast of Bloomers in the Garden Radio is played each Saturday evening at 5 p.m. on The Word, 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard throughout the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Hey, I want to do a shout out to Vicki Stevens, who I knew as Vicki Grant, that she was our first Easter bunny. But she also was more than that. She was one of our first hires at Bloomers those many years ago. Yeah. And she sent us, Aaron, was that on YouTube?
Yeah, she did. She was talking about, we were talking about fertilizers, and she chimed in on the up, down, all around.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because we taught her that almost 40 years ago. And she still remembers. It worked. It worked. Well, Vicki, good to see you. Danielle and I have talked about you often.
Oh, wow.
I remember a pool party making margaritas. Anyway,
with Vicki?
That's another story. You know, combo pots, you can buy them ready-made, but they look like everybody else's.
Yeah.
But if to have a great combo pot, the accent plants are really, really what make it. We call them Hangley Dangleys because, again, they are that Hangley Dangly, grow over the pot type of plant. And it really can make or break a good combo pot. So, Julio, ivy and vinca vine, they're that again, vinca vine is vinca vine, and it's actually hardy in our area in a weird kind of way. Like you all of a sudden see a variegated leafed plant, and it gets a blue flower as it gets older. Generally,
awesome.
But in a hanging basket or in a combo pot, you put it along the edge, and it's really just the leaves that are grown.
That's it.
Very classic look, geraniums and vinca vine, but I'm seeing more and more of the variegated ivy.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. And how about this? Instead of doing a vine, you can do something more of a climber, like a clematis. And you have lobelia cardinal flower, right?
Flower, yeah. Is that
cardinal flower? And everybody wants cardinal flower to attract hummingbirds. And that this would go really well. And it's going to trail down to the ground. And it's more than just something that dangles on the side of the pot. It's going to be pretty big. And again, that's lobelia. Chenille plant. When these first came in, this is Aaron. You like the history, knowing stuff, right?
Somewhat.
Trying to remember the names of all of the new proven winter plants when they first arrived at the store.
Yeah, right.
Like the song, like from what is it, Laverne and Shirley?
I do know Laverne and Shirley. I'm trying to.
All right, from those of you that from yesteryear, like me, which we used to do Chenille, Calibrachoa, and that Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated, and that was the way we were remembering the names of the plant. A chenille plant, it has like a bottle brush type flower, a red bottle brush type flower, and it hangs over the edge of the pot. Very cool, very cool. The leaf is pretty insignificant, but the flower is definitely cool.
Okay.
Got any ideas, Julio?
Let me see what for Hangley Dangleys kind of thing. You know that one. The Rex begonias are a really nice one. They're kind of leafy, but they kind of hang down a little bit.
Right, and they have that real it's a silvery gray leaf, or even a burgundy.
Burgundy. Yep, you can go both ways.
Swirls in the leaf.
Yeah, really awesome. That's a great one to have. Sweet potato vine, which we all know about.
Classic.
Yeah. That's a classic.
It's funny. It's become classic.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah,
and not only in that lime color, but now it comes in that burgundy.
Yep, it's like red, and there's a variegated. There's all kind. That is. There's a long story that we'll have to have Dr. Armitage on, and he'll tell us a story about how it was actually someone gave him the cutting of the sweet potato vine to test out, and it became. There's you're kidding, like sweet potato vine because it's real sweet potatoes. When you dig out a sweet potato vine plant, there are actually potatoes that can grow on it. So, but it actually is one of the most popular of the items that hang over. Asparagus fern.
Yeah,
that's the classic house plant, like 70s house plant. Yeah, dude. And but it looks great.
Yeah, it does.
Ivy geraniums, another one. You'll get the benefit of the flower. Sedum, sedum grow.
Yeah, sedum. Sedum grow.
Another creeping jenny
Jenny
it almost looks like a sedum, but where it's a bright yellowish chartreuse type leaf.
Yeah, we have it up front.
Yeah.
If you're looking at YouTube, we have it up front.
Sign on to our YouTube channel. Let's see what else. Dorianthus, that has become very popular. A variegated leaf, and that the leaf can hold its own. It doesn't have to do anything else, but it actually gets a red flower on it. That's it's similar to like a bottle brush flower, but is an interesting plant and grows very well along the side of the plants. All right, those are our notes. What do you have that's not in our notes?
You know that one that's kind of silverish and it's got the small leaves?
Yes.
What's the name of that?
Oh, my gosh, we just got it in.
It's a beautiful hangling.
It is.
I can't picture the...
come on, think. Silver Falls.
Silver Falls, there you go.
Silver Falls is the variety.
Yeah.
Ask for Silver Falls. That's what it's called. I have put that in along my my screened-in porch. Outside, I have like hay baskets.
Right.
and I use that in it, they grew to be almost 4 foot down.
Yeah, they really hang down nicely.
And when the things grow this big, you don't want to fear.
The shears, of course.
Cut it back if it just gets a little bit too much. Like we were saying, how the lobelia can grow along the edge of the pot, but then down and around and become weedy. Cut it back. Yeah. Cut it back.
Yeah,
don't be afraid to cut stuff back. That's growing in your pots. Don't forget to add, if you're doing a 14-inch pot, you're going to want to probably put in 4 Hangley Dangleys, depending on where it's being viewed from. But again, the 4 Hangley Dangleys are going to make a difference, and you don't have to use all the same one. Don't do one, so we have 4 of the same thing. Do different stuff. Different stuff, different colors, different textures. Every time we talk about doing a landscape or we talk about doing a garden, and the same thing with your containers, it's all about color, texture, and form. And you can do different Hangley Dangleys that are different colors, different textures, and different forms, all in the same pot. And it makes a difference. Because when you go and you get that one that has all the proven winners in the center, and then there's that dracaena spike, the dreaded dracaena spike in the center. And hey, what you're getting is great, but it's kind of like ho-hum, boring. And it's just not different enough. Like using, say, nonstop begonias on the edge of a pot, they do hang over a little bit, not a lot, but it does make a big difference because it's not only the brightness of the colored flowers, but also the leaves have a different texture. So it's going to give a different feel to the entire layout. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, sure.
It also can compete with the petunias that you have to put them in, that where the hanging to petunias will be in there. Right. So another thing too is fuchsias. I love fuchsias. If you're doing one for the shade, you can put some fuchsias in there. There are a lot of other plants that you can use for the shade. You just got to keep in mind where you're going to put it and its color, texture, form. Yeah. And the fun part is you lay it out in your shopping cart as if that's the pot, and to get the feel of where everything's going to be. And then that becomes your menu. Take a picture of it, bring the plants home, and now you know where they're supposed to go.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It is. Beautiful thing.
Yeah. And what you're saying in the beginning, Len, about, you can buy a combo pot, but, this is about creativity.
Right.
And, and what the great thing is, you can put this together and give it to a friend and say, hey, this is for you.
That's true. That's true. It makes a great gift.
Yeah, it makes a great
Mother's
gift.
Day is coming.
It's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, right. Aaron's shaking his head.
Oh, yeah.
There you
You're
go.
a little
Get ready
lost.
for mom.
Yeah. What are you doing for your wife for Mother's Day? You getting anything?
I'm going to get her a plant and plant it for her.
Ooh,
yeah.
With her.
Yeah.
And we were actually planning on going to Ground for Sculptures.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
We'll see.
Glassboro University, Rowan University, is taking some of the sculptures from the Grounds for Sculpture Garden and putting them around the Glassboro campus.
Yeah, that should be cool.
Yeah.
Everything that they have at that place is phenomenal. So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Plan ahead, guys. Mother's Day is next week.
That's right. That's right. All right. So am I wrong?
No.
Not
at all.
Danielle's not my mother. My wife was not, my first wife, my late wife was not my mother.
Right.
Like, I always made sure the kids got her stuff.
For sure.
Why the heck am I giving her anything?
I get it. I understand. Every day we live, we're giving her something.
No, so I'm not wrong.
No, you're
All right,
not.
TJ,
You're not
where
wrong.
TJ's behind the glass, protected.
Behind
Where
the
do you
bulletproof
fall?
glass.
Like, what do you think? Should she be buying stuff for your wife if she has a kid?
No,
No,
I don't think so.
Speaking of which, by the way, our old guy, Brett, reached out to me.
Really?
Yeah, he just was saying hello and showing me pictures of his baby. So he's going to have to deal with this question.
Right. Congratulations, Brett.
Yeah, thank you, Brett.
Haven't seen you in a while.
But so you're in the no camp. So you're with me.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing because my parents always say, "Wish your sisters Happy Mother's Day," and they're not my mother.
Right. But I can see like a wish, but like when it comes to cash,
Just be very careful. Be very, very careful how you approach that.
Yeah. How many points did you say you had at McDonald's? Gift points from
Like
McDonald's?
13,000 or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Anyway, I hope everybody at least wishes, and your lady. So if you screw up on this one,
That's on you. We warned you.
yeah, you're better, I guess, falling on the side of making the mistake and getting something
Right.
than being where
other
I'll be in
side.
the doghouse next week explaining how, I'm in trouble again.
Again.
Yeah.
Be very, very careful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My daughter, who is due to have her baby today,
Yeah.
she will be a mother for Mother's Day.
Oh, look at that. That's
Wow.
that's
Off something
special
that
right there.
freaks out a father.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
It is.
Congratulations,
Like-
Pop.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. I'm like the grandpa thing. Yeah, cool, grandma.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, grandpa.
Gramps.
Anyway,
Gramps.
all right, we got to get.
He's
This
getting
is
older
a gardening show, isn't it? Where's the self-help? The self-help show? Come on, anytime on this station. All right, we'll be
man.
back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Wanting to up your game in the vegetable garden? With 90 years of organic gardening experience, the Espoma Company has you covered. Espoma Organic Garden Tone is not your average garden variety fertilizer. Garden Tone is especially blended for organic vegetable gardens. Its all-natural formula contains Biotone, a blend of organic ingredients that supplies essential nutrients for strong, healthy plants and mouth-watering vegetables. Its slow-release formula provides continuous feeding. The Biotone contained in Garden Tone is a combination of organic ingredients and beneficial microbes to help roots grow deeper and faster for bigger, more bountiful harvests. Garden Tone is simple to use and safe for people, pets, and the planet. No harmful chemicals or synthetic fertilizers are ever added. You can find Garden Tone at fine garden centers. Visit espoma.com to find a retailer near you. Garden Tone from Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
Last year, millions of Americans asked the internet about protecting their lawns and gardens. There's one simple answer: Bio Advanced. Because gardeners have trusted the Blue Bottle for decades. Invasive insects? Blue Bottle. Lawn fungus? Blue Bottle. Japanese beetles? Blue Bottle. A Bio Advanced answer for every question and guaranteed solutions for every problem. Bio Advanced. Get more from the Blue Bottle. Bio Advanced all-in-one rose and flower care controls insects and diseases, plus feeds.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Many combo pots get a little flat in the center.
Mm-hmm.
We have some unique plant ideas to add height to your mixed container.
Just thinking of it. It's like a bald spot.
That's right, like
you know?
mine. That's right.
I'm getting too more. The show's getting a little personal. But where they do, as the plants grow, they hang over the edge, and that you see that darn dracaena spike, and it just looks like grass. In the beginning, it's like kind of there.
That's it.
We can do better, folks. We've got better ideas. If you like the look of the grass, how would you like to have the bonus of a flower?
Wow.
Daylilies. Take a 1 gallon daylily, put that in the middle of the pot, and use that instead.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, daylilies to me are like the perfect choice. If you use like a Stella d'Oro daylily,
Oh, they keep flowering.
and they keep flowering all summer, and they don't get like real out of control,
Easy.
that's
really nice.
a nice choice, I think. You brought in Julio. Julio picked up some plants here. If you're looking on YouTube. He brought an Australian tree fern, and it's little, But Australian tree ferns, we used to get them out of California, and that these things were big. I mean, the Australian tree fern can be brought into the house and treated as a house plant later on. But for the center of a pot,
That'd be awesome.
it would look awesome because the fronds on these guys can get to be 3 foot tall.
Wow.
So it would, I mean,
Statement. Make
it's
a big statement.
to me, I'm trying to figure out how I can use them.
Yeah.
And again, the different types of ornamental grasses
Oh, yeah, we have one here.
work great. I actually have a plan for a pot that I'm going to use elephant ears.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Going to use elephant ears.
Big pot, huh?
Yep. And that little dwarf Jean's Dillies,
Oh,
Alberta spruce. Because then not only do you have it in the summertime and everything looks with the combo pots, but when they're done, you still have something in that pot to take care of, and during put some lights on it in the wintertime, and then it stays good.
Wow.
What about you, Julio? Have any ideas?
You know, I like the banana plant. They're
Yeah,
I know you need a nice big pot for that too, but it makes a great statement. You know.
it does. It does. Big tropical.
tropical
you know,
look,
you're feeling like you're down in the islands.
Yeah, that's right, especially me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We've got a lavender in studio, and lavender's a great choice too.
It is a great choice.
You know,
It
again,
smells great.
different. It has a great texture, has a good flower. You know, you just got to make sure you pick a variety that's going to be tall enough. You don't want it to be. You want it to at least get to be 12 to 18 inches or taller, because the shorter ones are going to be just overtaken by some of the aggressive hybrid annuals that you would plant.
You gotta watch.
You can also plant a type of climbing vine, where we talked about the lobelia flower, but there's a number of other things, like there's morning glories and different types of climbing vines that you can use. And that what you do is you put I mean, to me, you could put a tomato cage upside down and nobody would know. But you can put some type of support, right? Or there's a decorative little climber. What are they called? Where it's small, round, probably about 4 or 6 inches, made of metal, very decorative. Blank.
Yeah, same here.
Anyway, that there are different ones that will work in a combo pot because it will keep it contained. And again, don't fear the shears, right?
Yeah.
There's also like miniature roses.
Miniature, yeah.
Miniature roses are
petite, yeah.
where will work in that
Work in
center.
that, perfect.
Tree rose.
Tree rose, yeah.
We also have at Bloomers, and we have a lot of tree plants, tree-formed lantana, tree-formed fuchsia, tree-formed rosemary. So when you're cooking on the barbecue, you just grab some,
Yeah.
you know.
That's a beautiful.
But you get that's a great idea,
Yeah, it
and,
is a great
and it's a
idea.
tree form, so it's going to be tall. So it's going to be that 18 inches, 24 inches, and that there's so many different types of, and there are those dwarf tree formed roses too.
Yeah.
Coming in,
Got a
at
lot of
Bloomers
choices
Summer
there.
Garden. Go to your local garden center there and get some ideas, and try to resist the desire to just go grab one of those pots and just here we go on. That's what it is.
Well, they can grab a pot and then make their own too.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
don't grab
Don't
the
grab
ones that
just
are
the-
already done,
done. How easy
where the
is that?
growers just ching,
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
where they just
Cookie
you know
cutter.
put them out. Yeah, cookie cutter. They do 1,000 of the same, and then like you look at the porch of suburbia, and it's like, yep, there it is. Petunia, verbena, dracaena spike. Again, petunia, dracaena. Anyway,
Yeah.
try to do something creative, and here's something: gladiola bulbs
Oh yes.
has a leaf that's very similar to dracaena spike, but again, it'll send up a spike. Also, we just got in German bearded iris.
Yes, beautiful
Okay, and that would be a great for the center.
centerpiece. Yeah.
So again, there are
Even without the
lots,
flower.
lots of options, and it doesn't have to be something that's flowering. It could be completely different, but it just has to be somewhat small and contained, where it doesn't take over the pot, and that's ideally what you want.
Yeah.
Are you doing any custom pots?
My what?
Are you doing any custom pots?
After doing this show, I think I will.
Yeah. I have
think
4 to do tomorrow.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to get them done. There's a party. Danielle's having a party.
Oh, are you?
And
you'll
that
be doing
she's
pots.
always having parties in her backyard once it gets nice. So I got to make sure I get those things done. So
And you did
I'm not
something-
ashamed.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed.
You're not ashamed. And you did a nice pot last year for her, too.
Oh, yeah. There's a few. She's got
A couple.
3, 6.
6, yeah. Yeah, nice.
That's where I get to show my stuff.
Yeah.
And we got some pots that are combo pots pre-done from a great grower that we know.
Oh, yes.
And they were using lupins in the center. Now lupins have that, it's got a color, texture, form. It has a spike type flower, but the leaves themselves are very different. And if you ever look at lupins after a rain, they all have like little balls of water at the center where all of the leaf individual leaves are connected.
Yeah.
And that
Pretty
it's
awesome.
like it's waterproof.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Great ideas.
Go to your local garden center, get some help. They'd love to help you put together a great combo pot.
Yes.
All right. Anybody got Aaron's doing sign language. You're still talking you're still talking to TJ about
Mother's Day.
about the mic? Yeah. Nah. I'm pretending I'm Preston and Steve. Anyway. All right, we'll be back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or see and hear us by subscribing to Bloomers YouTube channel. Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley every Saturday. First, wake up with us at 6 a.m. on WNWR The Word at 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. Tune in at 8 a.m. to Bloomers in the Garden Radio on Talk 860 WWDB. A rebroadcast of Bloomers in the Garden Radio is played each Saturday evening at 5 p.m. on The Word, 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard throughout the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Hey, I love growing cut flowers. There's nothing better than going out in the garden with a pair of shears and coming back in with a bouquet for the kitchen table or the living room or the bedroom. No cooking required. No cooking required. So what do you do? Which plants do I pick? What do you do? Now, at Bloomers, we have an entire section that are labeled for cut flowers, and that it makes it easy. Other garden centers, I'm sure, have something very similar. But there are plants that you may not recognize as cut flowers that can be grown that way as long as it's the correct variety. Like, for instance, there's Blue Horizon ageratum. Now, ageratum, we think, ageratum, it's about 6 to 8 inches tall. But Blue Horizon gets up to 36 inches tall, and it has that same flower. And you can use that in a mix, and it's such a great blue color that it's hard to get that blue from anything else. Julio was with me when I tried stealing this one from Bartram Gardens. I stole a cutting and dropped it into my water bottle. It was Love Lies Bleeding, Amaranthus. Gets to be big.
Yeah,
it can get to be about 5 foot tall. And it has cascading red flowers that are like pipe cleaner flowers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And that it's just a really, really neat plant. It's something that you don't get in cell pack trays, and it's something that you don't generally see very often. Yeah. But it's a cool plant, and that it does make a great cut flower. Zinnias, zinnias. You got to make sure that you get the right variety, though.
That's right.
With zinnias, there's cut and come again. There's different varieties that are specifically made to be tall enough that are going to grow to that 24 or 30 inches. And that when you cut them and you're not fearing the shears, right? You're cutting. It actually helps them to bring out more plants. So don't be afraid. And Cosmos.
Oh, yeah, I love those.
I love Cosmos.
Yeah.
Cosmos give you two things. Right. Not only does it have that daisy-like flower up on that you use, but it has great foliage for, again, texture. It's a ferny texture, very, very lacy.
Yeah,
and it helps bring out the flowers of the other plants too, and it just adds so much to the bouquet. Mm-hmm. I don't like dianthus.
You don't?
Sorry.
Why not?
Those of you that do. Why?
Doesn't turn you on.
Because carnations are dianthus, and carnations are the cheapest flower you can buy at the florist, and they're crap. They are, but there are varieties. Like there's the Amazon series gets to be about 18 to 36 inches tall.
Right.
So just a hint, Aaron, if you're getting that Mother's Day bouquet, don't get carnations. Okay.
There are a lot of people that like them, though.
Hey, I know.
I am very surprised by that.
Yeah, because they're cheap.
Oh, yeah.
The flowers, not the people. Well, you make your own conclusions. All right, moving on. Dusty Miller. Dusty Miller has that whitish, gray, powdery white, which doesn't fall off. Foliage, which, again, it's color, texture, form. Color, texture, form. The leaf texture itself and its color helps bring out the other flowers. Eucalyptus.
Nice.
I dig eucalyptus. In your mixed, like we're talking mixed container garden, eucalyptus, it's a winner. It's a winner. Gets to be about 36 inches tall. You're looking for that classic bluish color. Sometimes it's a little more green than blue. Makes a great cut flower plant. And now here's another one where you see it in like usually small pots, Gomphrena, but you're looking at, you need to look for the right varieties. That there's some that get to be 24 inches tall, and they are in everything from red to pink to purple. And they, not only that, but they look great in the garden too. Again, so many options.
It is.
So many options. Lysanthus is part of our group, and Lysanthus is a beautiful, it's not trumpet, would say, but it's a beautiful flower that also has great foliage. Love that. Now, and this is a horticulture sparring moment that we often get. It says, right, Nicotiana.
Right.
Nicotiana.
Nicotiana.
Do you have any Nicotiana?
Cigar plant.
It's like, get out of here. It's
a cigar plant, right?
No. Cigar plant's different. That's coffea.
Coffea.
That people call.
I'm thinking about the nicotine. They say
But it is.
Nicotiana,
That's
right?
what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And that it actually, you don't get any insects on it because it kills them.
Like it.
Oh, wow.
When I was a child working in the garden center, when the glass bottles were inside was the deadly pesticides that would kill everything. The skull and crossbones was prominently placed on.
Yeah.
It was a insecticide that was from Nicotiana.
Was it hand drawn?
Really?
The skull and bones?
No, not that far back.
No, I'm
Not that
joking,
far
I'm
back.
joking.
But again, that was the one that was the most dangerous.
Wow.
It's so weird that happens, but that's the way. It's probably coming back as your next organic insecticide.
Probably.
Right.
Salvia, like some of the blue salvias,
Yeah, really beautiful.
fantastic. Looks great, and again, it gets that blue color from the palette. In Celosia, both the feather type Celosia, and I'm going to say the brain type because people, that one, I know what you're talking about. Because if I say the other one, because there's again the plume type and the coxcomb type, where you could use both of them, but you got to make sure that you get the right varieties where they're going to get tall enough. Some of them are short; they're not going to work very well. But there are other varieties like the Bombay series can get up to 40 inches tall. Yeah. There's all different colors in that spectrum. Let's see. What else, Julio? You got anything else for our
In my garden, I had one time. I had the verbena. I like them.
verbena?
Yeah, I had Buenos Aires.
Because there's an upright variety of the verbena that you can use for cut flowers. Because everybody knows the one that's more of a trailing type.
Yeah, this is one I had was.
Yeah, and that's it's similar to stock, where stock is probably more stiff, and it's a good blue generally. There are some other colors. There's like an apricot. It's okay. Yeah. Sunflowers.
Yeah.
Sunflowers, like Julio said, that verbena Buenos Aires, 50 inches tall.
Yeah.
So don't get out of your head the proven winner ground cover and hanging basket type. Yeah. And again, the most important is with zinnias, you make sure that you get the varieties that are tall and made for cutting, but you also want to make sure that you get good colors. Like you need to get some white in your mixes because that brings out the other colors. You also need to, pink is essential. Bright yellow is essential. The peach and salmon colors, essential. You want to make sure that you don't just get like two colors. And then there's the cherry, the pinks, it's almost a cherry colored zinnia. They do great. They do great. Remember I made that colonial garden in front of my house?
Sure, I remember that.
It was inspired thinking about George Washington. And I have a colonial, Center Hall colonial house. And in the front, instead of a landscape, I went and I planted a big section of a cutting garden. And it had that colonial look. And it did really well.
First year, yeah.
Except
you didn't water?
Overwatered.
Oh, okay.
The sprinkler system and it overwater them. So a lot of these things you've got to take care of the plants as a garden, not as part of your landscape. So don't just rely like the mistake I made. I'm at work all the time, and the one day I got off, I'd go and I was like, let me look at the cut flower garden. It's like, oops.
Yeah, they're all hanging down.
Yeah. So again, it was just spotted leaves and typical thing. And again, don't forget roses.
Oh yeah.
And your cut flower garden, you can add different types of hybrid teas and grandifloras, floribundas, and use roses. Yeah. So
what a great way to go, huh?
Yeah. So plant yourself a cut flower garden.
There you go.
You wouldn't have to go to the florist. And
pick your own colors.
Your significant other will be very happy.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, that's right. All right. We'll be back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Looking to get rid of those broadleaf weeds? Fertilome's Weed-Free Zone is a broadleaf post-emergent weed killer that kills 80 of the toughest broadleaf weeds in lawns and other areas in your yard. Fertilome's Weed-Free Zone is a fast-acting product. It's a cool weather performer in the 45 to 90 degree range. Fertilome's Weed-Free Zone is excellent for those tough weeds including poison ivy, henbit, Virginia buttonweed, wild violet, thistle, dandelion, chickweed, spurge, and ground ivy. Fertilome's Weed-Free Zone is the go-to tough weed killer in the Fertilome product line. A proven cool weather performer you must have. So, the next time you visit your local independent garden center, ask for Fertilome's Weed-Free Zone and expect to have the best lawn and landscape in the neighborhood.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or see and hear us by subscribing to Bloomers YouTube channel. Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley every Saturday. First, wake up with us at 6 a.m. on WNWR The Word at 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. Tune in at 8 a.m. to Bloomers in the Garden Radio on Talk 860 WWDB. A rebroadcast of Bloomers in the Garden Radio is played each Saturday evening at 5 p.m. on The Word, 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard throughout the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Azaleas are a spectacular plant that are more dynamic than you might think. They come in many sizes, colors, and I'll tell you what, Len, nowadays, I mean, we get some beautiful azaleas.
They sure are. And then traditional azaleas, the ones that are the evergreens that get the one bloom cycle, I think they're underrated because they are spectacular.
They are.
And Hino Crimson is a bright, cheery red. Stewartsonian is more of like a brick red. Tradition is pink. Blouse pink, obviously pink. Pocanensis and Gerard's fuchsia are more purplish tones.
That's beautiful.
And Delaware Valley white seems to be the traditional white in this area.
Can't beat those colors.
But
But
I feel like we're in the hydrangeas. The hydrangea, what's happened to hydrangeas, where there are reblooming series of azaleas. And they're branded that way as opposed to, having a variety that's that way. So a lot of times, like everything from Proven Winners, like they'll have their repeat blooming azaleas. And then there's Southern Living has their repeat blooming azaleas. What other ones do we have in the nursery?
Encore. The Encore.
Yep, the Encore series. And don't think they're always going to look like that first bloom when you get it in the spring. The spring bloom is always going to look like tremendous. And then it's going to basically, spit out flowers sporadically through the year, maybe do a little fall bloom that will kick out a little bit more. But generally, they do bloom, but they can say that they're nonstop bloomers because they always have a flower on them, but they're not going to be that tremendous bloom that they have when they first come out in the spring. Very viable, a great landscape choice, even in your perennial garden, things like that. I love azaleas. Gumpo azaleas. Gumpo are dwarf little mounding plants that are usually about 12 inches, maybe 18 inches tall, and they're just beautiful because they're perfect for the front portion of the landscape. Because everybody knows that, so you have the tallest things in the back and the shortest things in the front. Those shortest things could be Gumpo azaleas.
Yeah, they're great.
PJMs. PJM's a cross between a rhododendron and azalea. Is more irregular as it grows, can get up to about 4 feet. It's never full like your evergreen azaleas or your reblooming azaleas.
More open.
Yep.
Early flowering, huh?
Early flowering, one of the first ones, and it's that traditional PJM, which is that purple look.
Oh, yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yep. And you can always tell, like, where you'll see a purple PJM and a forsythia behind it, so it's got that beautiful combination of that purple and yellow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Xberry. What is an Xberry azalea?
Xberry is the deciduous azalea, which are really unbelievable. Colors are can be yellow, bright yellows, and oranges.
Mm-hmm.
I would love. They're just a plant that's not used that much.
No, and they should be. I know that we had a pink Xberry or deciduous azalea that last year, and it has a cluster on the top of it that almost looks like a rhododendron, but it's smaller. Where it's maybe the size of your fist, as opposed to the rhododendron, which, and if you're looking on YouTube, I'm holding my hands out. Where rhododendron will get much bigger, rhododendron is probably twice the size of what the Xberry is. Where on a standard azalea, an evergreen azalea, you look at the whole mass of the plant. On an Xberry azalea, it seems that you look at each cluster of flowers as opposed to thinking that it's going to be this one. And it's going to be tall.
It's tall, yeah.
They can get anywhere from 4 feet, and they're more narrow and open, similar to what a PJM is, but the flower clusters are different, and it's all about the color. Orange and yellows, and it's just different
color,
and beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, I've got to feed my azaleas, and yes, I do. The thing that you need to use, like we went over this last week, I think it was, and the week before, it's a 1, 2, 3. You need to plant them using a soil amendment or a compost.
Always.
Bumper crop will work the best. You want a granular fertilizer. Okay, that's step 2, like Hollytone. And then you want to water it in with an acid-based, water-soluble fertilizer. Like there's an acid special, I think, by Jack's. That's perfect. But when do I prune them? How many times do you hear this? Right after they bloom. Aaron had just planted some azaleas, and we were talking about it on the drive over. What, you planted Karen, right?
Yeah, I got 4 of them, and we put 2 on one side and 2 on the other, and they're in full bloom now. They're starting to come back just a little bit, so I think it's about that time, on about maybe 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, let all the flower petals drop.
All right.
And then once they're done, they'll leave that little, it'll almost look like the actual, it looks a little spidery.
Okay.
And then cut them down a little bit, and that'll make them fuller and bigger.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, what color are they?
They're like a purple, kind of like a magenta-ish purple.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, again, it's azaleas, because they've been around so often and people are so familiar with them, that there's almost a contempt that people have about azaleas. But then we'll sell 1 million. Like what is this? Sky pencil hollies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, green, leaf, narrow, all the time. No variation. Whatever. Hey, I'm just happy when stuff sells.
Yeah.
But honestly, azaleas give so much to the landscape because they give you that evergreen. They give you the flower, and that they're reliable. They're reliable where they come back all the time.
Yeah.
Plant some azaleas.
Beautiful.
Show some love. And especially the newer varieties that are out there. And that there's a reason why azaleas are used and have been used so often in the past. So get out there, get to your local garden center, pick some cool colored azaleas and get them out in your landscape. We'll be right back in the garden right after this.
Spring is here, and people have a lot of questions about weed and feed. There's one simple answer. Bio Advanced 5-in-1 Weed and Feed. Just one application kills lawn weeds and prevents new weeds and crabgrass up to 6 months. And if crabgrass is already growing, it kills that too. Plus, 5-in-1 feeds and greens your lawn. Bio Advanced 5-in-1 Weed and Feed. Get more from the blue bag.
Here's the dirt on potting mixes. They're not all created equal. Espoma Organic Potting Mix gives roots the ideal balance of air and moisture. It contains a special blend of beneficial mycorrhiza to help grow stronger roots, bigger plants, and more bountiful blooms. Try Espoma Organic Potting Mix indoors and out for all your potted flowers, vegetables, and you'll see why it's the best. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you. Organic potting mix from Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929. Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomer's Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Hey, Ron from Bergen County, New Jersey, texted the Bloomers in the Garden hotline and had some problems overwintering his lavender.
Here's what he says. Good afternoon. Please see photos of lavenders in third year. Shaped lavenders into a tight round ball from about mid-September for past 2 years with no problems until this year. Was it frost that decimated 3 of my 6 lavenders? Appreciate your opinion. Thank you, Ron. I'm in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron.
I know Bergen County.
Yeah.
I do.
It's right up your
It's
backyard.
my old stomping ground.
Yeah.
All the pretty girls are from Bergen County.
Oh, are they?
Well, except one. Anyway,
You won't say who that is.
English lavender. Okay, and that's what he has because it's the best and most hardy. It's it is the frost and it is the freeze over the winter. It seems that the second and third year for lavender, they become more woody, if you would, and less herbaceous. So there's less soft growth and more woody growth. And that when you cut them back, sometimes you're cutting back into that heartwood. But it just is tough. Julio and I were talking about how heather can be this way, where you have a beautiful heather and it looks great, but then all of a sudden, it seems to die out in the center. And I hate now. Look, he showed us the pictures, folks, and I'm sorry that you can't see over the radio, but they basically is where he has a couple of plants that are perfectly nice round and are flushing out, where the other one is flushing out in tufts and it's probably only about 3/4 round, and there's a whole say 1/4 to 1/3 of the plant missing, and that happens sometimes with lavender and I would maybe go through and just leave it go for a while, let it flush out right now, and it may be able to overcome all of those bare spots and fill back in as it grows. Yeah, I want everybody to be careful not to be planting. Like I was in the grocery store the other day, and they were selling Spanish lavender. Spanish lavender are not hardy. And that people that think that they're planting hardy lavender, they're dead. They're not gonna die. They're zone 8. Again, you want to make sure you're sticking with English lavender. Where Ron is, he's closer to zone 5, where English lavender is okay there. But again, that Spanish and even some of the French lavenders are not hardy in some of the zone 7 through 5. So just make sure you're checking your tags. So lightly pruning them is not a bad idea. And again, they can be a short-lived perennial. I'll just say that straight out. It may be, if you love lavender, you will more than likely need to replace a plant before you're done. Ron, I wish I had better news for you, but if you can get this to flush out and only cut back in a small, try not to cut it back so that you're actually shaping it into that ball. Just cut it back so that it's taking a light shearing, very light, and that maybe some of that herbaceous growth will stay over the winter and it will look fuller. And that's really all you can do.
Really?
Yeah, I wish I had better news. And it's just where the plant is and everything else. You're doing everything correctly.
Yeah, he is.
But just make sure that you're feeding it and you're using some water-soluble fertilizer. And again, we recommend Jack's. Jack's Classic is perfect, 20-20-20. There's also one that has a little bit of iron in it. That's the Petunia feed.
Don't overwater it, though, because they don't like to be
What'd you say?
Not overwatering it.
No, because remember, it's an arid plant.
Yeah,
it does like it a little bit on the dry side.
Yeah. I had the same situation as he did.
Did you?
Yeah. By my third year, I was having an issue with one of my plants. And
what did you do? Did you give up or did you keep fighting?
Yeah, I just gave up.
Did you plant a new one?
Yeah, I planted a new one, yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you didn't take it out on the plant. I'm not planting any lavender anymore.
No, I love lavender.
Yeah, because
Lavender's a great plant.
Because again, if you think about it as a biannual, that might be easier for you to.
Yeah,
that might be easier for you to take. Ron, if you've got any other questions, just please give us a call on the hotline. Anybody out there, if you've got questions about your plants, your garden, your landscape, your house plants, call the hotline. That's 609-685-1880. We'll be right back right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Me and Julio down
Hey, all you ladies out there that are mothers, could you please guide us as men, knowing, do you expect to get a Mother's Day gift from your husband? Please call the hotline and let us know. We're having a hard time with this. 609-685-1880. And by the way, if you have a plant question, that'd be nice too. Make sure you let us know where you listen to and where you're from. Julio, anything to add?
No, I love the combo pot situation because now you can give a specialized plant just that you've made to somebody special also.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So make two.
Yeah.
Keep one, give one to a friend.
That's right.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. We'll see you next week in the garden. We'll see you in the garden.